A teacher is like a candle. It consumes itself to light the way for others. Best teachers teach from the heart, not from the book. Yes, my honorable guest today is Mr. Thanh. He earned a bachelor's degree in civil engineering with a specialization in bridge engineering from the University of Transport and Communication, UTC, followed by a PhD in civil engineering from the University of New South Wales, Australia. He subsequently completed postdoctoral research at the University of Leuven and the Université de Liège in Belgium. Currently, he is a professor, Dean of the Faculty of Civil Engineering, and Head of the Department of Bridge Engineering and Underground Infrastructure at UTC. Since 2018, he has led and contributed to various projects, including the digital twin for infrastructure using big data and smart sensing networks. WIN Group Innovation Foundation. Good evening, Mr. Thanh. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you.
Okay. My first question is to you. You are an engineering faculty and have had multiple experiences at your university. How do you define higher education in Vietnam?
In Vietnam, we have a quite comprehensive higher education system. So it is based on elementary school and secondary school and high school. Normally, we have, let's say, very extensive and very basic, let's say, the school system. And then the higher educations, some university quite old, established since the beginning of the 19th century. Like my university is the University of Transport and Communication. We founded in 1902. And now it's more than 100 years of existence. But of course, we are going different worlds, and then there's some period that we cannot. Let's say there's some periods that we have discontinued of higher education. But then after the war, we rebuilt the countries, and let's say higher education prepare very good for the workforce, and in different subjects. Before the university is, let's say, in by subject, for example, universities for engineering, university for science, university medical university, and so on and so forth. But now, almost all university, let's say, multidisciplinary. Let's say our University of Transport and Communication, we have 33 programs. And it's quite complete. And university, like medical university, we have different, let's say, separate medical university, and also system of University of Art. So just those two special subjects we have, and also for ministry and for, let's say, security and police, we have different system. And also we have university in different regions, economic regions, especially in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. And then we have, let's say, sort of national university in the middle region of Vietnam, like in Hue, Da Nang, also very complete university system. And in our Central Highland, in Đà Lạt, in Đắk Lắk province, and in Pleiku. And then we have university in National University in the Mekong Delta regions, like Cần Thơ University, and university along the coast in the Central South region, like Nha Trang University. So let's say in terms of subjects, we have a very complete university system. And in terms of regional distribution, we also have good university in different economic regions.
Yes, so I'm in Vietnam. I have seen many. What I observed that the basic school you are telling that the government has made the basic things very well, like all the systems, the university. You are telling comprehensive program, 32 programs. It's not easy
Yeah.
to maintain, but yes, it's continuing in the different place like Da Nang, Hue, and other cities, big cities also. But what I see the difference, if I, it's not to compare, better to compare the two countries like India and Vietnam. But Vietnam, I like the way they are maintaining the primary schools, even the government primary school. They are set up, and like their infrastructure is really good. Even in the university also, I have seen they have the digital board and digital three kinds of white green board and the digital system of the board. And I see the UTC you are making a more advanced setup for the future. But I want to learn because 20th November is a Teachers' Day in Vietnam,
Yes,
right?
yes.
It falls. So I wanted to discuss something more about this matter, about what kind of teaching style you are using, like what is the relationship between the teachers and the students, and how you are going through the process. Like in India, we have our own system and we follow their teachers, and the students' relationship is very good, and they are really close-knit relationship. They're
Yes.
continuing. If
Yes.
one great teachers can make a great learners, the great readers also in the future. But what about in Vietnam?
Let's say like you make the example of Indian society is more or less, let's say, hierarchy system. But like in Vietnam, let's say we have a teacher, like as you said, but then the close knit between the teacher and the lecturer and student is very close, or close to each other, especially for technical university like the University of Transportation and Communication that you call UTC. So let's say for technical university, we have a very close system. That means, let's say sometimes the lecturer or professor to go with the student go to the site for practical trainings and sabbatical experience, and we call it, let's say, internship experience. That means professor and lecturer go with the student, go to, let's say, a bridge site, a construction site, or to a, let's say, a steel workshop, things like that, to have let's say very close guidance to student as such. So it's more or less it is our cultures, and also in the sense that let's say we don't have let's say a hierarchy system, and then university is, let's say, we combine is a research university and what we call applied sciences. First of all, for I just make an example of German system. They have a very good technical university for research, and they have a university of applied science for let's say practical engineering problem. So students from University of Applied Sciences in Germany, normally they try to, let's say, normally they become engineer for their career, and graduate students from technical university, they more or less tend to become a researcher for their future career. So let's say our university is sort of combination. So we have also very good professor, good at research, and then also we have let's say very practical professor. That means we can have very close relation with students, and also in the sense that, let's say, in our country, normally university is not let's say to transfer the knowledge from teacher from university to student. but rather we build a system of experience. That means the experience of students at university is very important because we think that let's say learning is lifelong process. I mean, the students will learn, let's say, even after university, and then we think that it is, let's say, their career. They have to learn more and more as it goes. So that the idea is to have a practical experience and social experience between student and teacher is very important. And in that sense, let's say students come to our office, let's say my office, so they can discuss without, let's say, any, let's say, very strict appointment. But of course, if they have a very careful appointment, they can have, let's say, a long discussion. But then from time to time, they can pop up to ask questions, and even they can make a phone call.
Yes.
So that the interaction is very close.
Friendly
and friendly and close. So that means it's way of interactions. It's a way of control, let's say, behavior rather than, let's say, have a very strict professor and to try to give his role to students. But the other way around, that we have a close list, and we think that especially in this let's say digital transformation period right now, because even something students learn from university after graduation, it might become obsolete. It's out of date, and they have to keep on learning, so that the practical experience and the hands-on experience is more important. The skill and social interaction is more important than the knowledge itself. Of course, knowledge is important, but then students have to get experience in university. So that's the whole idea of Vietnamese university system.
Yes.
And also, let's say we are very competitive because it's very easy for students to come to, let's say, Southeast Asia country. A student come to China, come to Korea and Japan, and to Taiwan, to Europe, and to United States, or to Australia. So let's say university, let's say if we are not competitive in some sense, students will go abroad to study.
Yes.
So that also have, let's say, to close the gap between Vietnamese university higher education in Vietnam.
Yes, that means you are very friendly and the students are reachable to all the professors and lecturer. And I think in this respect, I want to remember one thing, that in India or many other countries, the definition of higher education or maybe normal education has been, we can define in a different way, like not gathering knowledge, rather than you have to learn the skill, how you can shape your future.
Yes.
And the social skill also. Okay, my next question is, in your opinion, what changes are needed in the landscape of Vietnamese education system to help students compete with the international market?
Actually, just my last point I made, I just mentioned about, let's say, competitions. I think competition, if you understand in a very positive way, it will, let's say, promote an environment for people to grow. So it's very important. Now we have, let's say, Vietnam is very open society, so we have, let's say, foreign institution, foreign university to come here, and they normally they try to compete in very, let's say, we call it hot program, like computer science, like finance, banking, things like that. But even that, we have also very good university, let's say, good higher education system, domestic higher education system, that we compete very well with international
market
school.
or
Yes.
school.
International institution in Vietnam. So in that sense, it is one way, and the other way, if we are not competitive enough, let's say student will choose to study in nearby country like in Southeast Asian country or in China, which is also they offer very good higher education system. So in that sense, the competitive is very important to make university integration to the world. So higher university integration is also let's say opportunity for our university among others to grow. That means, let's say, like myself or my other colleges, they get a very good, let's say, higher education. Even they had master and PhD training in foreign country, let's say in the US, in Europe, in Japan, in Australia. So they come back to university, our university. Like in our faculty of civil engineering, we have almost let's say 40% of academics get higher education from outside, for example, from France, from Germany, from Japan, and so on and so forth. So it is competition can understand in two ways. One way is, let's say, if we are not competitive enough, our domestic students will choose to go out to study, because Vietnam have a very good high school system. So that means it, let's say, Vietnamese students will let's say they attract let's say foreign institutions as well. So that in that one way of competition, the other way of competition is that foreign institutions come to Vietnam to let's say to offer very high demand and let's say hot trend programs. As I said, like computer science, AI program, program to have AI, and also finance, banking, economics, and things like that. So that we have to compete in a good way to as a foreign institution. And a last point is that, let's say, we have a lot of academic staff to get trained from, let's say, advanced countries, highly developed countries like from the US,
Yes.
East Asia, and from Europe, and so on and so forth.
Yes. So I can like this time I see that in Finland and South Korea, they are the highest education system, the best education system we can see, and there are a lot of changes in their education system, and they are more inclusive system they are using. And I feel, for my opinion, like nowadays, yes, we have to be competitive with the others, but at the same time, earlier time when I was a child, so I used to think that, okay, we are putting more knowledge in and getting more knowledge from the professor or the lecturer, maybe from the teacher. But these days, and I can better IQ people, the person who has a more IQ, they can get better result in the exam. But that really doesn't work now. I feel that the social skill, the EQ is more important if you really want to compete with the others in the society or out of your country or among the community, in the community. So it's more important, I feel.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes. Next is Vietnamese economics growth engineers have great contribution. Many of us might not know a similar revolution has taken place in the engineering system, like digital twin, which is a predictive physics-based model. Can you please share some light on it?
Actually, as a Vietnamese people, is normally we have a very fast at let's say learning new things, and then we normally go with digital transformation in the world now. Let's say we have to change the system, we have to change the hardware, and we have to change the software. So let's say two most important thing is the advance of computer with mobile technologies, and then say the advancement of internet technologies. So that's two kind of let's say evolution. So that creates AI revolutions, computer science revolutions. And then let's say Vietnam means people is very fast to
cope up with the new situation.
With the new thing, new situation, and to learn the new thing. So digital twin is about to create, let's say, a digital model of the physical twins. So we have a physical twin, which is let's say the realities, and then you have a digital twin that let's say simulate the physical part. But then it's more than that. It's an interaction between the digital model and with the physical model. So there's interactions. So let's say, imagine, let's say we have a, like before we have a internet intelligent transport system. We call it ITS. But then you can combine different intelligent system into one single, let's say, entity. We call digital twins or digital thread of the physical model. So everything to do with AI, to do with advanced sensing technologies, hardware advancement, and things like that, we combine all together into one single unit. For example, let's say an obvious example is to simulate, let's say, if you go from Hanoi to the airport, you go to Park Nhật Tân Bridge. So in Nhật Tân Bridge, we can, let's say, equip with a lot of sensors. And then we make a, let's say, digital model of the Nhật Tân numerical model. And then we combine the response of the bridge that we can measure like smart sensing system at the bridge. And then we can predict the behavior of bridge as a numerical model we built on computer. So we try to compare, let's say, the behavior between two models, and then we can see, let's say, the differences. So the differences, then the computer will, let's say, try to will evaluate what makes the differences. Is that, let's say, a strong wind? Is that a collision? Or is that the degradation of the structures? Or some cable have been broken and things like that. So the changes in the physical model immediately reflect into the numerical model. And then that makes the digital twins of Nhật Tân Bridge. So it is a physical part, and it is a numerical part, and the interaction with the advancement of the sensor. We call it a smart sensing network. And let's say for our university, we also try to develop. First of all, let's say an obvious example is a sound system that you have a speaker that to simulate, let's say, the sound. And then we develop something called digital sensor. So we move from analog things to digital things. So everything is digitized, and then we combine together, we make it, let's say, smart sensing network, edge computing. So that this has a combinations of, let's say, that advancement finally come to digital twin model.
It prevents the failure before it happens.
Yes.
I feel that. Yes. So my last question, it's very brief. One sentence you can tell the students what they can follow as per your teaching experience as a professor, whatever you understood from your experience all the year. So what advice you can give to the students? So can you tell them in a one sentence that what they can follow in their life?
Actually, to get one sentence, let's say the question is more interesting than the answer itself. But let's say one book I would like to read, let's say, very much and introduce to students. That is Man's Search for Meaning. It is one book by Viktor Frankl. It is about, let's say, difficult time for the author who lived in a concentration camp during the Second World War. and let's say still in concentration camp, and he's facing the death, let's say at any time. But then he wants seen plan for the future, think about the futures, and makes the best for the future. So I think that mentalities would have with let's say students. Let's say life is about, let's say, sufferings. You can suffer a lot about every day in life. You let's say something you're not happy or something is against you, but then you work for, let's say, the meaning that you define. And the very good thing about that, let's say, it can train
your mind.
Yes, of course, it train your mind, but then the meaning can train up your life, can train as the life go, and it depends on the environment also. So then it's not a definite, let's say, you not definitely find, let's say, an ultimate meaning of life, but then you gradually find the meaning of life during your
Journey.
school day, during your university day, and also later in life. I think that if to say one sentence,
It's difficult. It's difficult.
Yeah, it is not difficult, but the answer, the question is more important than the answer.
Yes.
So how you interpret the question is will make the meaningful of the answer itself. So the book I recommend the book "Men Search for Meaning" by Viktor Frankl.
Yes, men search for meaning.
Yes.
Okay, and last but not least, I want to mention something. Our great leader Gandhiji, he mentioned, if you want to see the change, be the change.
Yes.
And one teacher, one pen, and one book, and one student can change the world.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time, Mr.
Thank you.
Tan. Today I would like to conclude my conversation with you. Come back with a new person next week.
Thank you.